All right, so now let's go to the other day. You said the NFC West was garbage. I'm gonna challenge that. The NFC South is so much worse than the NFC West.
The NFC South is 100% worse than the West. You are correct. The NFC South is trash.
The NFC South reminds me of the quote, second place is just first loser, because it does not matter if you win this division. You're still worse than 75% of the other teams in the league.
Yes.
So how do you have it finishing?
Anybody that gets out of the division that challenges anybody else is going to get killed. I'm going to go, funny pick, I think I got the Falcons, bro. I think I got the Falcons. I think the other teams are just all so bad. I think the Buccaneers fall on their face. The Saints fall on their face. The Panthers are going to be a disaster. I'm going to go with the Falcons, bro.
I think you're smoking.
You think I'm smoking something? I could be smoking something. They're coming with Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I feel like they have an exciting offense for that division. People have been reporting that their offensive line has gotten good. Bijan Robinson is going to get busy. That's from the reports. Am I 100% sure about this? No, not at all. But because like they say, we're picking from trash here. I'm going to give the Falcons the benefit of the doubt. I would say the Falcons, maybe the Saints, the Buccaneers, and the Panthers.
I've read some stuff where people are like, oh, we're excited what Atlanta's building. I still think Atlanta and Washington are going to be the worst teams in football. I'm a Xavier fan, so I can't like anything University of Cincinnati, so I hate Desmond Ridder. I didn't think he was that good in college. I think he's going to be a bust, and the problem is you can have all those weapons, but if your quarterback can't do anything, he can't get them the ball, or he can't keep them from stacking the box against Robinson. He's a good runner. You know, he's a multidimensional guy type of thing, but I just don't see it happening. And I think that team is going to hinge on that. And I would not want my team hinging on Desmond Ridder.
All right. Look, I'll reiterate. My pick for the Falcons, I'm not feeling totally confident. I'm going out on a limb here. This is different. Going out on a limb. Maybe because Derek Carr is getting a new opportunity with some weapons, with Olave and these guys over there. Most likely, they're going to take the division based on experience, based on the players they have. I'm going out on a limb, and I'm saying the Falcons because I just want to see them. I want to see somebody else come out of that division. But I'm going to stick with Falcons, Saints, Panthers, and Buccaneers, the same shit.
I'm going to go New Orleans first. I think Derek Carr is the best quarterback in this division, and I think he's got pieces around him. Now, granted, I think Kamara's out the first 3 games, but they got a couple receivers down there now. Their number one guy, who knows?
Michael Thomas doesn't exist, bro. He doesn't exist.
No, Michael Thomas is the top-tier wide receiver when he plays. I don't know if he's coming back, what the deal is, but then you got Olaf, who's a standout. He's a
Olaf is from Frozen. Olave.
Chris Olave.
I think they're going to score points, and I think they've got a decent defense, and I think that's all it's going to take to win this league, this division. Atlanta, I already said my piece on. Tampa Bay, I think they are going to be terrible because Baker Mayfield is terrible, but this team still has pieces, and they got enough talent on defense. They'll be in games, and they'll be competitive in this league. And Baker Mayfield, he's overall pretty bad, but he has moments where he'll shine for a couple games in a row. He'll be efficient. He'll look good. And then the other games, he'll be terrible and turn it over a bunch. Baker Mayfield is the classic try to extend the play, make a bad throw. Because in college, that's what he did, right? If you're a guy like him or Johnny Manziel, you can buy time. You can run outside the pocket. You can make these crazy across your body throws. There's enough distinction between the top guys in college and the guys that are okay that you're going to make those big plays. You try to do that in the NFL, that shit doesn't play. I don't think he's shown the capacity to move beyond that, thinking he's still in college. But I think he's going to have enough good games, and they've got enough pieces that they'll be okay in this division. And then Carolina, I think, is actually the biggest X factor here because they've gotten some pieces. They've started to put some things around Bryce Young, but Bryce Young is the question mark. First of all, does he get hit and he's out 13 games because he's smaller than me, I think. But I also hear his football IQ. He's a great quarterback. We saw what he did at Bama. It's just that, can he stay healthy? It's the Tua question, you know? As long as he stays healthy, I think he'll have a good year. And they've got enough pieces around him that I could see them competing with Tampa Bay for the number 2 spot. So I got New Orleans 1, Carolina 2, Tampa Bay 3, although I think it could flip-flop. And I got Atlanta at the bottom, and I got New Orleans as the only team making the playoffs.
But you got my Falcons in last place. I'm putting them in first place. I feel you with the Saints. That looks like the most NFL team there. Let's go to the AFC South, bro.
Speaking of horrible divisions,
I like this division better than the NFC South. I'm excited to see Anthony Richardson. I'm excited to see him, even though he's going into a bad situation. Jonathan Taylor's wilding. He's going to drop a rap album. Something crazy is going to happen with Jonathan Taylor soon. But we all know the Mercedes-Benz of that division is going to be Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence, I think he takes a step forward. He's got the weapons. He's loaded up to shoot. They're going to be in first place. The Titans are going to be 9-8, and they're going to be lingering around. Derrick Henry's going to have 1,500 yards, but they're boring. They're not going nowhere with Tannehill. The Houston Texans, they're in last place. C.J. Stroud. Damian Pierce is good, but the rest of this lineup don't look like anything. Nico Collins, he showed flashes, but he's inconsistent. Robert Woods, he's almost AARP. They got Dalton Schultz over from the Cowboys, but it ain't going to be enough for them to get out of the basement. I got Jacksonville. I got boring-ass Tennessee Titans lingering around second place. The Colts, Anthony Richardson, I feel like he has some big moments. He may win some games for them. And the Texans in the basement. Forget about the Texans.
I'm probably in the same line of thought as you with Jacksonville and Tennessee at the top, Indy, and then Houston. It's hard for me to completely abandon Tennessee here because they always start the season slow. And then Derrick Henry, it always seems like his first 4 games, he's like 70 yards, 56 yards. And then all of a sudden it's like 240 yards. Mm-hmm. And I think Tannehill is okay. They got DeAndre Hopkins. I think they're well coached. I think they're going to be in most games. And they historically have been giant killers. They'll go play a team that's in first place. And that's the game where Derrick Henry just lets them control the entire game. The opposing offense barely gets the ball, and Derrick Henry runs for like 240. I agree with you at Jacksonville. I can't stand Trevor Lawrence. I don't like anything about that team, that guy, anything. I hate that team. But
why? What's wrong with Trevor Lawrence? His hair. You're a hater.
Did you ever see the movie Mask?
Mask? I'm sure I did, but I don't remember.
Cher. I don't like anything about Trevor Lawrence. He just has rubbed me the wrong way, since day one at Clemson. I don't like him. But that being said, I think he's going to take a step up this year. I think they got him some weapons, and I think it's a solid all-around team, which we saw last year. I think it's going to be between Jacksonville and Tennessee for first place. I'm going to give the slight advantage to Tennessee. I'm excited to see Anthony Richardson too. I think that's going to be must-watch football. It's too bad that Jonathan Taylor is going to be gone or not playing or whatever the deal is, because I'd love to see that offense have multiple levels to it where he could hand it off. He could run an RPO. He's a crazy athlete, but if you take away a formidable running game, where does that leave him? I think it's a bad situation, but he's going to make some crazy plays like we've never seen before, some Michael Vick shit. In Houston, I like C.J. Stroud. I think he's good, but there's nobody on that squad, to your point. Yeah. I'm going to go Tennessee, Jacksonville, very close there. Indy, Houston, and probably both Jacksonville and Tennessee making the playoffs. One of them is going to be on the outside looking in and win a big game in Week 17 when the other team's already in and sits their starters type of deal and get into the playoffs. One of those.
That division's pretty much self-explanatory outside of what you said. Like maybe the Titans make a big push. They start playing real good from Week 12 on. You know, they could do that. Let's go over to the NFC North, and talking about people that have nobody around them, let's go with the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love. That team might not win a game, bro. That might not. We all know, bro, I'm telling you, look, Aaron Rodgers is gone. Aaron Jones has been a really good running back in the Aaron Rodgers system. I think Aaron Jones takes a step back. Aaron Rodgers had a difficult time getting Watson and Dobbs cooking. So what makes you think Jordan Love is going to get Watson and Dobbs cooking? They're going to have problems in Green Bay. Vikings are the Vikings. I don't even think they lose much losing Dalvin Cook. They still got Matheson. He's Matheson's the truth. It's going to be Kirk Cousins throwing to Justin Jefferson. It's just going to be bombs away, and let's see how we end up at the end of this game. Detroit, I'm excited about. I want to see Jared Goff kind of revitalize his career over there in that system. He was just running in circles, banging his head against the wall with the Rams. They had to get rid of him. But, he got weapons. They gave him weapons. He got Amar St. Brown. He's a monster. They got the running back, Gibbs. Everybody's hyped on him. Fantasy people are diving for him. They're drafting him early. Jameson Williams, I don't know what's up with him. He keeps getting hurt, suspended. But the word is when he gets out there, he's effective. I guess he's like a Percy Harvin type. And then they got, Mr. Reliable, Marvin Jones. He's reliable 5 games a year. And then Bears, Justin Fields got to show me. He showed flashes. He looks decent. I don't know if he's a superstar. They got DJ Moore, Mooney, Claypool. They got some weapons that I feel like a good quarterback could utilize them. Will Justin Fields be able to utilize those weapons and bring the best out of those guys? I don't know. I got the Lions because I got the Lions beating the Vikings, maybe in both division games. I got the Lions, I got the Vikings, I got the Bears, and the Packers do nothing. The Packers might be 1-16, 2-15. The Packers are in the basement. Everybody's going to go back, and Aaron Rodgers, they're going to say, look, Aaron Rodgers was this whole team. That's what's going to be the whole narrative of the Packers season.
What we know is that Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers were probably the two most valuable players to their teams over the last close to decade because Russell Wilson didn't have a ton around him and carried that team. I mean, granted, they had the years of the defense and everything, but on offense, Aaron Rodgers made everybody look good. But I do think what Green Bay had around him for a while was a little bit underestimated and underappreciated, particularly the offensive line. I don't think they have those same guys now that Jordan Love's going to make it happen. At Aaron Jones, you're right. He's a stud. But if it's predictable because you got to hand it off a lot, what does that do to his numbers when people start stacking the box, making Jordan Love make the throws? Now, if they come out early in the season, people stack the box, and Jordan Love starts throwing dimes and getting guys the ball, it changes the game a little.
What have you seen over the years when Jordan Love comes in for Aaron Rodgers? Have you seen that?
Nothing to convince me of that. But if he does, and people start needing to play them a little more straight up, that opens up the opportunities for Aaron Jones. I don't see it happening. I'm with you. I think Green Bay is going to be pretty bad this year. I wouldn't go so far as to say not winning a game, but they're going to be bad. Chicago. And I'm a sentimental Bears fan. I know they've done a lot. They've brought in DJ Moore. Their line, they've done some stuff to make it better because it was atrocious for a while. I like Justin Fields, but what I haven't been convinced of at this point, again, coming back to his college experience, if you're a quarterback at Clemson, at Ohio State, at these schools that get the top receivers in the class every year, those guys are getting open by 5 yards. It doesn't happen in the NFL. There's a much smaller window for error. And I don't know that I've seen from Justin Fields enough of throwing the ball. He can run it. He can make some of the throws, but this is the year where I think it's either going to be he takes a step up or we're going to say, oh, he's borderline being a bust. Minnesota, I actually think maybe the biggest loss, like Adam Thielen leaving, that's huge because him and Kirk Cousins had a good chemistry and he opened up a lot for Justin Jefferson. Because don't forget, Thielen's a very good receiver. That gave Justin Jefferson that deep level. He could be that deep level threat because Thielen was the mid-level threat. And Dalvin Cook was the handoff or the halfback screen. Defenses had to play them at all three levels, and now I don't think they do. I think they're going to double Justin Jefferson or shadow him. I think Minnesota's in trouble. They'll be decent because they're typically pretty well coached. They got a good home field advantage, and Cousins is always slightly above average, just enough to get another contract. But Justin Jefferson can't carry a team by himself. And Detroit, I'm with you. I'm excited to see what Detroit can do. I'm an old Barry Sanders fan, so I always kind of like them, but they've been not enjoyable to watch for the last decade plus. But I'm excited because they put up some points last year, which I didn't expect. Jared Goff, I know he got cast off, and he went there, and he's making the best of that situation. And I think I got Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, Green Bay, same as you. Only whoever wins this division gets into the playoffs. I think Detroit gets in. Minnesota, I see them as like a 7-10, 8-9, maybe on that left on the outside looking in.
That leads us to showtime.
Oh,
AFC North, bro. To me, this is going to be the most exciting division because these guys here, bro, they're shooters. You got Lamar. You got Deshaun Watson. You got Hollywood Joe. You got shooters. You start with Baltimore. Lamar's Lamar. You already know what time it is. J.K. Dobbins can get busy. The only thing is his receivers. Is Rashad Bateman going to be the real number one? They brought in Odell. I don't know what Odell could do. I don't know if he's still playing football or he's modeling. I don't know what he's doing.
He's TikToking.
I think it's going to be like a rotation of whoever Lamar could hit consistently is going to be out on that field. But be more is be more, bro. Lamar's Lamar. They're going to be in the mix. They got good coaching. I'm excited to see them. You got your boy Deshaun Watson. Bro, they're giving him Nick Chubb, Elijah Moore, Peoples-Jones, Njoku, Amari Cooper. You can't ask for more weapons. The only thing that the Cleveland Browns need to do is they need to file some kind of restraining order, keep him out of massage parlors and have a full escort and bring him to his room and tuck him in and make sure that he's out of trouble the whole season.
An escort or an escort? Wait.
No, not an escort.
An escort or an escort?
Yeah, I said the wrong word. If he hears that, he needs to relax. They need to just protect Deshaun Watson and let him play a full season of football with those weapons. Now, the Bengals, Joe Hollywood, we know what he could do. Joe's the truth. Mixon, if they get a full season out of Mixon, the Bengals are going to be dangerous. You know Chase, you know Higgins, you know Boyd. They got a squad over there. They got, he got everything that he wants to shoot to. The Steelers, forget it. Kenny, pick them off, pick it. It's a wrap. The Steelers got good coaching. They got a good system. They're always in the mix somehow. They got Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, Pickens. They picked up Allen Robinson. They got Freiermuth again. Unfortunately, I don't know if the Steelers have finished last at any time recently. This might be the year. I'll give the Bengals first place. It's going to be Bengals, be more. But I'll go with the Bengals. I'll go with Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers. But the Bengals, the Ravens, and the Browns could all end up being playoff team.
Very much with you once again. Pitt, you said it. Great system, great coaching. We'll see if this year Kenny Pickett from day one, being in there, having a little more experience, if he can be a decent quarterback. I don't think he's going to make some big superstar jump or anything like that, but I think he'll be a game manager plus if he plays well. And I think if he does that, they still got a very good defense. They got a good system. I think Najee Harris is a stud. They're going to be in some games they're not supposed to be in. They'll win some that they're supposed to win, even though I don't think they're horrible. I mean, they probably win the NFC South or at least be in contention to win it. Unfortunately, they're in a stacked division, and I think they're going to be last in the division, but playing some games out of division, I don't think their record's going to be horrible. Yeah. Cleveland is the ultimate X factor to me. If Deshaun Watson comes out and does what he did, I don't know, 5 years ago at this point or 4 years ago, whatever, on paper, their defense, they got defenders at all levels. They got guys on the line, the Myles Garrett. They got some decent linebackers. They got some guys in the secondary, which you need when you're matching up against Cincinnati, when you're matching up against Baltimore. It comes down to Deshaun Watson. If he has a all-pro type year, Cleveland could very well be in contention to win this division. And they could be a problem because Nick Chubb is the truth. Baltimore, to me, I don't believe in OBJ. Lamar Jackson's always going to depend on his tight end. He's going to throw a ton to his tight end. He's going to make some good downfield throws. He's going to be a threat on every play to run the ball. That defense is always nothing to play with. I look at what Cincinnati has on offense, and their defense has gotten a lot better. Hubbard and Hendrickson, that's some formidable players on that defense. That defense is pretty good. Baltimore, I just don't see them having as many top quality players. Cincinnati, to have Boyd as your number 3 receiver, to have Chase, to have Joe Mixon to hand off to, Higgins, there's just weapons. And Joe Burrow, as a guy who I was kind of hoping we were going to draft Herbert, I'm glad we took Burrow. I was scared Burrow was going to be, it was 1 year in college with some of the greatest receivers in the history of college. Man, he has exceeded every expectation I had. If this line, which has improved, gets him some time, those guys are going to get open all day. And Mixon, if he can stay healthy, that's always the question. Cincinnati's just too good on both sides of the ball. They're particularly on offense. They win this division. Cleveland and Baltimore, if Deshaun Watson has a good year, I think Cleveland and Baltimore are neck and neck for that second spot, and they're close behind Cincy. It's going to come down to who wins these rivalry games. These are all rivalry games. If it's Pitt, it's still a rivalry game, and rivalry games can go any way. These in-division games are tough. I'm going to go Cincinnati. I'm going to go Cleveland, 1 game ahead of Baltimore, and then Pitt with a decent record at the bottom of this division. I got 3 teams very likely making the playoffs, Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Cleveland out of this division.
But you know what's going to be crazy about this division? You got Lamar, Burrow, Deshaun Watson. The game might be decided by 1 drive, 1 play. So these division games can go either way. You're going to have 6 games where these guys are going to have to improvise and probably get the job done. Who's going to do it? That's going to be the beauty of watching this season.
Almost every division game in this has the potential to come down to the final play of the game. My fear is that one of these quarterbacks gets injured this year. I don't want to see that happen. I want to see these teams stay healthy. I want to see great competition in this division. I hope nobody gets injured.